1 second. Hi, everyone. This is Bob Sorrentino from Italian Roots and Genealogy, and I'm here today with my co-host Michael Cavalieri and some great.
Wait a minute, hold on, Bob. 1 second. That's not the name of this podcast.
I forgot.
You're cutting. It's not Italian Roots and Genealogy.
No,
That's
I said
another podcast.
I said I'm from Italian Roots and Genealogy.
You can't start this podcast with that. You have to have a new setup. So
I'm
start again.
I'm gonna let you introduce it. You do the introduction.
I don't even know what the name of our
Roots and Reflections. Roots and Reflections.
It's a pleasure to be here with some fabulous guests in a great episode of Roots and Reflections. Today we're going to cover what, Bob? Calabria and finding roots.
We're going to talk about Calabria, and we have people from Ohio. You're from California. We have Sal Corvino from Australia, and Pietro Mucuri from Bella Vita Travel. And,
Ciao.
He's a Calabrian native.
Who's got the reverb in the background? Reverb in the background. There's some radio going off back there somewhere. That's better. Right. There you go.
So let's start with. I think I want to start with Sal because we made him wake up at 5:30 in the morning to be on the show. He's got a great Australian accent.
So Sal.
Tell us a little bit about you, and you're fluent. You know the dialect and everything. You can talk to Pietro probably.
You guys talk, and we'll just listen to you guys talk. No,
before I start, Pietro, where are you? Where are you located?
I'm in Calabria, in the center of it. Yes, Lamezia Terme.
Lamezia Terme, ok.
On Tyrrhenian side.
Vicino all'aeroporto.
Sì.
Just right there. I'm
bravissimo
from the airport. Yes.
Bravo.
Pietro, what's the hotel that's right there? I stayed at the hotel, very nice hotel right there near the airport. I'm sorry, Salvatore.
Put two right in front. Bram Hotel, maybe?
Yeah, I stayed very close. It was very near the airport. I'm sorry, Salvatore, go ahead.
It's not that big. It's just
small. Yeah, it's nice though. Yeah.
It's a Bram Hotel, yes.
Okay, great.
So, Bob, you want me to tell the story of how I connect to Calabria?
Yeah, because people, as we spoke before, people around especially us in America don't realize there's so many Calabrians in Australia.
Okay, so Madonna, there's lots of them here. So my dad came out from Sicily in 1952 to Australia.
Bravo.
And my mother came in 1954 from Calabria. And so they met when my father went to the veggie shop to buy some veggies, and he was introduced to my mother. And so the rest is all history, right? I popped out a year later.
Salvatore, your father's Sicilian? Your father's Sicilian or Calabrian?
My dad's from Provincia Palermo.
Bravo. Okay, great.
A place called Bagheria.
Sure, fantastic.
And my mother comes from Santa Caterina dello Ionio, Provincia Catanzaro.
Beautiful.
Pietro, lo sai bene, sì? Lo conosci?
Certo, conosco anche Bagheria.
Bagheria, Tornatori, Bagheria.
Yeah, Bagheria is in, if you watch Godfather 3, they arrive at Bagheria train station.
Yes.
But never go back. I don't know why. So basically, mum and dad got married, and my nonno, who was well known in Santa Caterina dello Ionio, his name was Giuseppe Leto, just like my cousin Rich. We belong to the same family tree. And my nonno had a nickname because in Calabria, most people 100 years ago had a nickname, and it was Pepe Uceremidotto, which means Pepe the tile maker, roof tiles for houses. On his farm, he had a big clay deposit, and my nonno and my uncles used to dig the clay and make terracotta tiles for the houses that were being built in the village. But my nonno was born in 1881. And it's interesting. It's surreal for me to tell you that my nonno was born in the 1800s, right? And he went to Philadelphia when he was 18, Philadelphia, America. And he started working there. And a lot of the people from Santa Caterina went to Philadelphia to work and make i piccioli, as they say, money. And so he worked in construction and stayed there a few years. My nonna, Vittoria Andreacchio, was betrothed to my nonno at birth, because that's what they used to do back then.
Wow.
And so they were first cousins, and that was a thing that they did back then, betrothed first cousins to first cousins. And so my nonna Victoria went over with a whole entourage of people to protect her, and she went to Philadelphia. They got married in 1905 in Philadelphia, and then my nonna and nonno had 10 children together, some in America and some when they returned to Italy. And so what happened was, the story that I got from family is that my great-grandfather wasn't well, and so my nonno had to return to look after the farm. And there's a lot of stories that come out of that. I don't want to take all the time, but I'm very proud of my Calabrese heritage. The people of Calabria, they are very humble, hardworking. They have good values for family. They have friendship values. If you knock on the door at dinner time, they don't send you away. They say, come in, join us, sit at the table with us, which is an honor. And I think that what I've learned from the Calabria side is very dear to my heart. I learned a lot from the Sicilian side too. But I noticed that the people of Calabria and all my uncles who served in the war, World War II, and they had a lot of stories to tell. I can see that the human spirit from Calabria is quite a healthy one, and one that has a lot of values. I love that.
Yeah, that's cool, Sal. And I don't recall. Have you been back to the hometown?
I've been to Santa Caterina. I love it. It's high up. It's 1,500 feet above sea level. It snows in winter. It's rustic. It's old. You can see that it is something that would, when you go there, you feel like you've gone back in time. And the way the houses were built, my nonno's house was interesting. It only had 2 rooms. And it wasn't until the 1950s that they actually installed a toilet on the balcony, a little cubicle, a booth on the balcony. And that was what they call the gabinetto, the little booth. That's what gabinetto means in Italian. And so before that, people used to have the potty, the chamber potty, right? And they used to go down to La Timpa, because it's so high up. La Timpa is the tip, and tip everything over the side of the mountain, which was very good for the plants.
Fantastic.
Interesting. Yes.
I guess.
Sorry, I tell you the good stuff only. Don't worry about it. No worries. Va bene. You need a cafe or something? What's going on? Triple espresso, vai.
Salvatore,
Fatto
this happens in Los Angeles all the time. Though they're still doing that. They're still tipping it over the mountain.
And incidentally, my full name is Salvino, not Salvatore. Salvino.
There is a difference.
Put vino at the end. It's different. Yes, my passport is Salvino. Sorry, I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you, Salvino. Very nice. That's a beautiful
Salvino. Grazie.
Prego.
Pietro.
Yeah.
So Pietro, tell us a little bit about, we'd like to hear, I think, the Calabrian side of things. How do Calabrians feel when Americans or Australians or anybody else comes to visit Calabria?
It's strange because the value of the people that move to looking for their family or their place, it's something that I understand 100%. But when the first impression is just that they see tourists, and the first things is like staying a little bit far from these people. But then little by little, when they see me, like when I'm with the people, and I explain the story and the things. Then it's happened usually in the small town. The people they come and they are really interesting too. And it happened to me when I work that I go first of all by myself, and after like a month when the people comes to do the visit, all the people they chat in the town, and then it's like having a feast with everybody comes out, and everybody knew who I am, and the people that comes from America, and they are recognize the story and the things or memories, or they come with older people. So it's a really strange thing. It's like opening again a room of your house that you keep closed for years, and then also the people that they live in this house, they enjoying opening this door and then walking the steps inside, and maybe open also the light and see what's inside, and it's a really nice. It's a really nice. People sometimes they are really interesting about it. What's it's really curious about me is the family that sometimes we find that they are they stops and saying what they want to do here, what they want to from me. So it's like are they interesting to get back what the father or the great father left? Because sometimes what happened that family like your nonno left to Philadelphia, and maybe his brother was living in Italy, now moving, and he get his part of the house or the house, and
Right.
Who keep the house, the family. Sometimes when people like you come back to see just to enjoy the town and the place, they think that maybe you come back to have your things back, and so they stop and they freeze sometimes. But then when they understand that you don't, you have another idea, everything goes better.
Well, I have the house behind me, and boy, I'd love to have that back. That's Torre Pio Malo in Fossato, which is just an amazing place to be. And to your point, one of the things that I found, I think everybody has the experience when they go to the hometown, but I think with two things that struck me more than anything else visiting there, because it is high up on the mountains and everything. The first one was, as Salvino was saying, that the people were just wonderful and they welcome you in, but the food was all made by them. The ham was cured by them. The cheese was made by them. The wine was made by them. And it was so matter of fact, right? That I think they found it strange that didn't happen in America, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
even
Michael,
even
you
North
had
Italy,
similar
it's not
experiences,
like
right?
this. Even in North Italy, it's not like that. So what is the lifestyle here? It's unique. There's Sicily is close to us. Puglia is even like us. But if you go northern, people they keep you away from their family, their food, their table. Here we say where two people eat, another one it's okay too. You should be three people eating at the same table.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And I have a question for Sal.
Yeah, is that the question for me?
Yeah, that's for you, Sal.
Okay, so the earthquake, was that the earthquake that was in America, though?
I think
It
that
says-
this one is the one that shake
In
the
Italy?
south part of Calabria and the
Yes.
Messina, Sicily.
Messina.
That
Yes,
destroyed
yes.
Calabria.
There
Got
were
destroyed.
there were some cracks in the wall. I know about this, 1908, but not a great.
No.
There wasn't much danger because Santa Caterina dello Ionio sits on the eastern northern side of Calabria, or pretty much
Yeah.
central, but it's away from that Messina scene. It's not near Tropea and all that area. That's where I think they had a little bit
Salvino,
more damage.
hold on with this. What about the Messina thing? That's where my family's from. What does that mean? That's Messina thing. Hey,
Michael.
nice.
You watch yourself, all right? You keep your nose clean.
1908 that destroyed half of Messina and half of part of Sicily. So that was a terrible, terrible tragedy.
And yeah, they suffered a lot. I get it.
Yeah,
But
very
because
terrible.
Calabria, where my mother's village is, fairly high up on the map, they got the rumbles and the tremors, but they didn't get the damage. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were just joined by Dan Zangrone, and Dan's the luckiest. Dan's the luckiest of all of us because he goes. Dan travels from America to Calabria and spends half his time there, and actually has a couple of homes in his hometown, right, Dan?
Correct. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Okay. Ciao, piacere.
Ciao, Dan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And so
Daniel,
Dan,
where's your hometown? Where's your hometown?
Cropani, Catanzaro.
Catanzaro. Ok, va bene.
Cropani è provincia di Catanzaro. Cropani between Crotone and what's the other one? Soberato. It's on the coast.
Soberato, beautiful.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So Dan,
Soberato.
So Dan's what's been your experience, returning to the hometown and living in the hometown? That's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, my experience has been that I've made huge connections, very big connections, because my hometown here in New York had a very big connection, and this happened in many places, especially Pennsylvania too, to the town where my family was from. Many people in my hometown in New York, there was so many people from the same town in Calabria that they would have, like meetings, newspapers, that was a real clique. They all lived in the same part of town. They all married each other. It was a family.
What town are we talking about?
They would in Cropani.
No, I don't know. In America,
Cropani,
New York,
in New York. New York is central. Utica, New York.
Great. Yeah, great.
Central, upstate near Syracuse.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because I blame most of it because of the baby boom generation now retiring, wanting to travel. So many people are going to Europe, and many people are into this idea of connecting to their past. Mm-hmm. I came back October 1st, but I just finished meeting many people from my hometown here in New York. I'm back in New York now. And I meet them at the airport, La Mezzia. The train station, the train station close to the airport. And then I bring them to Airbnb and I show them around. I went to the hometowns where the grandparents were from. And they see, of course, other things, the castles that are down there, the sea. They have a good time looking at the landscape, but also they just want to go to the bar. They want to have a coffee where their grandfather and their grandmother maybe met, something like that. And I always tell them when I pick them up at the airport or the train station, now you're going to see the real Italy because you're going to relax. I know you were up in Rome and Florence and Milan and you're running around and you're doing all this. But when you come to Calabria, you relax, riposto. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the best part. And Rich, I know you've been to Italy a couple times. I don't think you've been back to Calabria yet, right?
All right. So here's my story about Calabria. My grandparents from Calabria on my paternal side were the immigrants of the Great Arrival. Born in 1880 in the town Santa Caterina del Iono in the province of Catanzaro. across social media, I have met so many people once I dropped my name, and all these families, Romeo, Tropiano, Creniti, they all tell me they knew of my side of the family. And I've engaged with these people to meet Sal in Australia and how we're connected. And then once I tell them I'm from Philadelphia, they tell me these are where my relatives were. And I started digging, and I found out that there was a St. Catherine Society. It was typical chain migration, just what Daniel said. We had our own societies. The mother church in Santa Catarina, everybody tells me you got to go see the procession of Santa Catarina. And, you know, Sal knows all about this. But my grandparents were typical. They came to America. Sal just translated my grandfather's birth record that talks about him being born. They presented him at the municipal building. It identifies his father as being a peasant, my grandmother as a farmer in some respect. My grandfather became naturalized around 1920. Never went back to Italy. Never went back. So it's my turn to go back and, you know, touch the roots of my ancestors. I've done that on my maternal side, but I am missing that part of Calabria. I'm glad to know Daniel's close, Pietro's close. Now I got some other connections besides those other people. And here's how I read. Here's a whole book on Santa Catarina. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Cool. Talks about how they, you know, stomped on the grapes to make their wine, how they cured their meats in these caves. They had caves. This book is filled with all of that. And I love that history, and to know that we're all part of it as Italian Americans, Pietro being a local Calabrian. It's in our DNA, and it's just, you know, you're giving us the platform to talk about it, Bob, and that's a great. But to know that I've connected with Sal and people in Canada, and even in Philadelphia, people that didn't know of my family, as soon as they tell me, well, we lived in St. Nicholas Parish, it's like, well, that was like ground zero of the Catarinese, you know, people from Santa Catarina. And you just connect in so many ways. And then my head's spinning. It's like, where do I stop trying to track these people down that I'm connected to? But once again, it's so heartwarming to have this platform to talk amongst us.
Well, when you
keep their story going,
and you have, is there a place that you can go, or the people that you're connected with in Catanzaro area now that you can
my buddy Aversa, you know, I went to grade school with this kid. He was from there. There's an older gentleman that just got back from Santa Catarina that I connected through Facebook, and I talked to him. He lives in New Jersey, and he's more than, you know, he's a little older than me, but he's, you know, he's telling me his experience growing up in the village. And sent me videos, YouTube videos. I mean, I've become overwhelmed with the, you know, the generosity that they're giving to me, only because I have, you know, I have an important part of my story in that community. Unfortunately, I found out that the village had a fire, and my grandparents' house was destroyed. There's a big palazzo. They tell me I got to visit the Marquis. Sal knows about it. It was a French, I guess the French, you know, had their hands in this little town, and their palazzo's still there.
Okay.
My grandparents' house has been destroyed by a fire.
Well, the only thing that would have burned was wood, and there probably wasn't a lot of wood in there.
The sailing, for the sailing.
And my grandparents, both of them, Caterina and Francesco Leto, had 7 children. My father was one of them, Luigi. And like I said, I mean, it's the great arrival. So I'm fortunate, like Michael and Daniel, to know that our relatives traced our roots. You know, we know they hit Ellis Island, and the rest is history.
I bought 2 houses over there in my town, one by the sea and one, you know, typically in the hill, you know, in the city, in the town where everybody was. The town, I mean, the coast, none of the coast really got developed until probably the 60s, maybe the 70s.
Yeah, now there's a marina, Santa Catarina Marina. Superior is up at the roof. Daniel, save me that beachfront house you got.
Yeah. I've got people from my hometown. I got somebody going in December. You know, people are always going because I'm not there all the time. But that's exactly what happened. I think the government, whatever, was created the way it was, and they were allowed to take the land all the way to the sea. So you've got all those towns, and then same thing with Catanzaro. It's Catanzaro, and then there's Catanzaro Lido. So they have that whole idea all the way along the coast. The town is up in the hill. So yeah, I mean, I have property there that I let people stay at for sure. You know, when
Thanks for sharing, Daniel. My paisani.
Yeah,
So-
I also go to Sicily a lot too, because Sicily, you know, was the first part of Italy to do the €1 home program, and that has totally blown up. And the town I'm in Sicily is Sambuca, and they got the movie star there. You know, the lady from The Sopranos, Goodfellas. What's her name? Lorraine Bracco. She bought there. So it brought CNN. It brought a lot. HGTV came. They got a lot of attention. But as an electrician, I grew up as an electrician. We had a family business, you know, here in New York. I have connected with people, a lot of California people, a woman from Chicago. She put $500,000 into this little town, just the house. A guy from Scotland, Finland, England. So this town is very successful because they put the public together with the private. The real estate people worked with the mayor, and they would bring groups. And they sold over 200 homes, and they don't even have the people, enough electricians and plumbers and whatever to fix them. So Sicily, I love to go to Sicily. You mentioned Bagheria. A woman from Finland bought in Bagheria. I've been to Bagheria and worked in the house too. So it's a very exciting time, and I can only say I think it's because of the baby boomers. I don't know.
So Michael, I didn't realize. I don't know why. We probably talked about it, but I either didn't realize or I forgot that you had Calabrian roots besides the Sicilian. So
Yes.
now, where's your family from in relationship there?
Cassano, Arionio, Cosenza.
Oh, okay, so similar area then.
Yeah, midway in Calabria, about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And so now I guess you've been back, right, to the town there. How's that different from? So how is it different from Sicily?
I think it's very similar to me. Very similar.
The landscape is very similar. I mean,
Everything.
to me,
Yes, the southern hospitality to me is very, very similar. So I've been there over 30 times. So for me, it's you know, it's all beautiful as far as I'm concerned. When I touch my feet on the on the land, that's it. You know, it's over. I'm home. So
you can, you almost.
Bravo.
it doesn't change. It doesn't change. You know. When I was trying to get my citizenship through my grandfather Agatino from Sicily, at the time they didn't realize that he gave up his citizenship in 1921. He had to be naturalized, so he gave it up. So when I was going through the journey, the guy said, "What about your other grandfather?" And I said, "I don't really know much about him because he was a lot older, and I never really met him. I didn't have him around me." And I find out that he never gave up his citizenship. And my father had it, my grandfather had it, but nobody knew this. So then when I went, very, very interesting. I'd gone to, Sicily. I did a film about it, And I said to my wife, I said, let's go to Calabria. So we went to the town, Cassano, and we were driving around. And as I always do, I stopped in the square and asked a few people if they know the name Cavalieri, and the guy's like pointing, and I'm like, well, what's he pointing? And I asked another guy, what are you pointing at? He goes, oh. So I drive a few blocks, and I'm looking. I'm like, what? I stopped in a little shop. I said, scusa, no, my Cavalieri. He goes, and he points up, and I look up, and there's a big sign. It says Cavalieri. He goes, go. So I went. I was driving in, and there was a guy coming out of the gate at the same time. and we stopped. It was like a movie. We stopped. I rolled my window down. He rolled his window down. I said, Cavalieri. He goes, "Si." I said, Cavalieri goes, "Si." I said, Luigi. He goes, "Si." And that was it. You know, so and now they just went to court for me a couple weeks ago to get my citizenship. It should be happening shortly in the next 2 weeks. So it's very fascinating that you go to try to go one way. The thing is, we're so Italian American. We're so infused together with so many things from the South. People came from the South to all the East Coast, and, you know, in America. And there's Calabria, Sicily, Puglia. They're all from the South. It's all there. New York, you know, they're all. So when you find this stuff out, it's incredible. So when I went, and I had vacation there a lot. Fiumifreddo, Abruzzo, beautiful. Scilla, Tropea. I've been to all of them, you know. Reggio, you know, closer to Messina, and then I made my way in a little bit more. But you know, to me, it's all great. It's all beautiful, and the people are beautiful. And as Salvino said, and Pietro, it just it humbles me to sit down, to have dinner or lunch, to be with beautiful people. And so that's why I do all the work that I do, and with the films that I do, and try to create goodwill in the world, especially in America. And this is why we do this podcast, guys. This is for people like you who are doing wonderful things for our culture. Pietro, obviously that you're in Calabria, we want to bring everybody to you. But this is why we're here today. This is what Bob and I discussed, and this is why I do my films. Because we want to shine a light on beautiful people that are doing unbelievable work. So I'm grateful to all you guys here today for the hard work and the love of your culture. And all we can do is keep doing what we're doing, right? And we keep bringing people there and be proud of who we are. And I'm fascinated by this conversation today about Columbus Day too. I don't really understand the whole political quagmire we put ourselves in with all this Columbus Day. Is it Columbus Day? Is it Columbus? Does it really matter, really, at the end of the day? I mean, can't we just celebrate our culture and maybe just, you know what I mean? It's just like, it seems all the time, especially with Italian Americans, what I find and during my journeys, especially with my films, the academic world is in a battle with the other side of the culture, or this one's in a battle with this side. It's like, why can't we all just come together and lift up our culture? Why can't we do this? This is the only thing that I want. This is all I care about. This is why we do this work. Be proud of who we are. Let's do what we do. Help each other. Push our agenda together. And then that's what people did when they came to this country. They went. They worked hard. They didn't know the language. They didn't know anything, but they broke their ass. They worked. They worked for no money. They worked as laborers and whatever, you know, whatever they had to do. But they were willing to sacrifice who they were for their families and to have a little bit of a chance at a better life. That's all I want us to do here. This is why we're trying to relive this. And maybe it's a renaissance, a rebirth with everybody here trying to bring this back, this life. So I go all over the world. I go everywhere. You know, I've been all over the country, all over Sicily, and trying to teach the young kids, you know, about our culture and about how important their culture is to us, and how we respect them and admire them and what they did, and vice versa. You know, so this is what it is, and this is why I feel. When I feel, I cry. I cry when I touch the land of my grandfathers. I cry, and my tears trickle down my face, and it's powerful for me. So I'll never be stopped. And if people know me, if you get to know me, you'll know how I work. Bob knows me very well. So, and now my wife's family's from Puglia, so now we have Puglia. So we have the whole boot hanging out in our family. So you know what I mean? So So I'm sure we all feel the same way.
Well, you know what's funny, Michael, is when we were there, my wife kept telling me, "Don't cry again." I can't help it. I can't help it. But you know what's fascinating?
It's your DNA.
What's fascinating about what you said, Michael, is, you know, Australia had the exact same kind of experience from the people
Yeah.
that I've spoke there.
Yeah.
Only they're probably 40 years behind us in that
Well,
whole
what I-
Italian
What I
movement.
find about fascinating about Salvino, it's like, it's like here's what I find. Guys, scusa un momento. Sorry. What I find interesting when I speak to Salvino, and then when I speak to people in New York, like in Brooklyn or New Jersey, it's such a different look at what our culture is, and there's no stereotype. It's actually authentic in its core. And what I find very interesting about living here in the East Coast is that sometimes people identify our Italian American culture with the regional thing, with the heavy accent and the chains and the da-da-da. And I can't implore enough that that's not who we are. Yes, people have an accent, great, it doesn't matter, but that's an accent. But the whole behavior is not who we are. We're not that. And this is something that really, really, in Hollywood, they've hammered down your throat constantly.
Well, that's where it comes from. Yeah, we're a television. We're a television culture, and we have that, and they use that, as a entertainment tool, basically.
Right. But what it does, it dumbs down who we are. It dumbs down our culture. It gives us a stereotype.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not a stereotype. My grandfather was not a stereotype, and he had 10 children here in America as well. All of
Oh, Michael, where are you?
Somebody pressed the button. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything there, but
No, he's still showing online, but something must happen. Maybe.
While we're waiting for Michael, I just want to say one thing, because Michael touches on a very, very special note, and that is that we were born overseas compared to Italy, but our DNA was designed in Italy.
Right,
So we were designed in Italy, but made outside of Italy.
right. Yeah.
And so I love what Michael was saying, because he was on a very good a theme there of what it really means. Whenever I go to Italy, and in particular to my mother's village or my father's village, my DNA starts to resonate with what I see. I love it. I smell the food. I'm smiling all the time because I know I'm there, and that's where it comes from. Bob, do we know what's happened to? Do we know what's happened to Michael?
I'm trying to check with him.
What Michael was saying is even in Italy. So when the people from North Italy talk about us, Calabria, Sicilian, so they have the same idea of us. I have a friend of mine that his father-in-law was from Florence, and he asked him before getting in here on vacation if we have a street to go, and what they think that we are the fourth world. I don't know. So, but when they come here in the south of Italy, especially in Calabria, Sicily, and Puglia, they fell in love when they come, because
Bravo.
We are human. We are like simple people. We don't, and I love people like you, that you come and you seems like that you love more than us the region, and it's really a big things, because kids they are now the global way to think about the new life. It's global. Our kids, they think like Americans, like the Japanese, like everybody else. So they don't care a lot. So we try to keep little by little, and you are helping us. You're interesting to come and to understand what's your roots are. It's helping us, because you come and you make our little town that are going to be a ghost town and renew, relive again, even if you come just for a week. So we were
Pietro, you want to hear?
Yeah, go ahead, Sal, please.
Sorry, Pietro, I want to just mention to you, because this is interesting. It goes with what you're saying. Whenever I come to Italy and I speak the dialetto of my father in Sicily or the dialetto of my mother in Calabria, they say to me, "Oh my God, that's the language of my nonni. We don't speak that anymore." And so we froze that language because we're close to the bone. And when I speak Calabrese with my uncles and aunties here, my cousins, it's the Calabrese of 100 years ago, maybe more.
Yes, yes. The dialect changing year by year is changing. In a word, we lost a word, we take a new word. The dialect is a changing, going closer to it, to like a wrong way to talk in Italian now. It's not like in the little town still really deep.
It's lovely.
Pietro, Gene had a question. Is there a noticeable Greek influence in Calabria?
Yeah, I was reading it. So we have a big. We were called Magna Grecia. So I've been in a university that is calling Università of Magna Grecia di Catanzaro. So the influence of Greek people is really big.
By the way,
Hi, Bob. Hi, whoever those other guys are. They're all waving. Hi, someone in the corner here.
Nice to meet you.
So Lucrezia, now that we have the wheels I'm groaning on the line.
93.
93.
93. Benedica. Complimenti.
Grazie. Who's in the middle?
This
you.
Yeah. This is Pietro.
Pietro.
This is Michael.
Ciao. Pietro,
Michele.
io sono in Calabria, signora.
And Letto.
The handsome guy is Pietro from Calabria.
E tutti from Calabria.
So Lucrezia, you went back many years ago to Calabria, right? You had a great experience there, right?
I know it's such a long time ago now. I'll always have that memory, of course. But I wish I could go back, Bob, but I don't know if I could do that. It's
Why
a
not?
long, hard trip.
Next spring, come on.
Bravo.
And just to tell you that in America I have relatives, and my cousin grandmother, she's turning this October 105.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
She flew to New York to Hawaii.
No.
Wow.
The
God
family.
bless.
Okay. Remember.
So,
Benedica.
Wow.
And just to let you know, it is spring in Australia now. We have Christmas on the beach, in the water, swimming. Christmas is a hot time for us.
That sounds wonderful.
Bellissimo.
So about
So,
the Greek
Lucrezia,
influence,
when-
just the last things to say is that we still
Bravo,
have
Pietro,
a little town where people use Greek language like their personal dialect.
Where is this ship, Pietro?
It's more we have in the south part of Calabria. So in Aspromonte, we have a
Aspermont.
little town where they talk in Greek.
They sound
Jean, the lady who asked the question, Jean Benfante, who is in Pennsylvania, where I'm going tomorrow. Her father worked in the sulfur mines in Central Sicily. She's an amazing woman, and she's another one fighting for our culture, all of us.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing thing. But yes, Jean, you got that answer from Pietro. So yes, they do speak a lot of Greek.
And so the town and the church and the artistic things on the coast is there's a big influence from Greek and Byzantine. The inside of our land was influence more from Norman, from Northern European.
Correct.
I want to tell
similar
you
to
something
Sicily, no?
about. I'm sorry.
It's similar to Sicily,
yes.
like a norm. Yeah, it's just very much.
Yeah. So about what we were talking about the town, there's a Lido Marina, and then the town on the hill. So in Calabria we have a type of town like Cropani Marina and Cropani Superiore. Isca, Santa Caterina sullo Ionio, there is a marina, and there is the old town.
In the town.
Yes, we have some town like Scilla, Tropea, Pizzo. Those towns.
Pizzo is beautiful, by the way. Wow, Pizzo is stunning.
You have to come and to try the truffle, the ice cream,
it's
the
amazing.
truffle. Oh my God!
Pizzo is one of the most beautiful places. Wow.
Yeah, you should die while you
right.
eat
I agree.
The ice cream.
I agree.
We'll
have to have a risotto together, Pietro. Risotto
Wow.
con truffles. Bravo. Oh,
Wow.
that sounds
Not
good.
truffle, I mean the ice cream. And they call it truffle in pizza. There is an ice cream that they made that
Yes,
looks
yes.
like really
It
truffle.
looks like a truffle.
Oh, yes.
Salvino,
Yeah.
you should know that. Come on now. You've been to
Yeah,
pizza.
excuse me. Yeah, it's only 6 o'clock in the bloody morning. Don't worry.
Have an espresso. Come on, Salvino. Wake up.
I had a
No
triple espresso for you guys.
No cappuccino.
I took
no
I took
cappuccino,
3
please.
shots for
No
the team.
cappuccino,
Triple
never
espresso.
cappuccino.
No,
And
cappuccino.
also, can I just say, I just want to say one more thing too, that in Sicily, just to let you know, Vicino Enna, which is in the center of Sicily, there is a little village where their dialect is pure ancient Greek. Anyone who speaks ancient Greek can understand what they're saying.
Which
It's
town
been
is that?
Wow.
passed on. I can't remember the name, but I know that when I was living there, I actually knew people from there, and they said that they spoke ancient Greek. It was kept in its purity,
Salvino,
passed
will you
down
please-
from father to children.
Will you find that out for me?
Yeah.
Can you find that for me?
I can, Bello. And how do I get in touch with you?
Bob will give me my email. Please write to me because I go there all the time. I have very dear friends in
Hey,
there.
Michael, did you
Yes,
talk
sir.
to the guy?
Yes, I
The
did.
first guy, the guy with the thing. Did you talk to him?
I did. Yes, sir.
Bravo. Okay.
So in Calabria, we have also town where the people talk in Albanian language also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Albanese, yeah.
Yes. And you know, Pietro, our prime minister in Australia, his name is Anthony Albanese. His father was from Bari.
Albanese.
Infatti, he was from Barletta, 10 kilometers. Barletta.
My wife's from Mola di Bari.
See, and his name is Albanese because they had a huge migration from Albania on that east coast. Yeah.
Yeah, they got
Bravo, it's great.
I remember like 7 immigration in a year, starting from 1400, then until 1700,
Yes.
and they moved in Puglia and a lot of people in Calabria.
Yes.
Because we were accepting these people and protecting these people because they were living a really bad life over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to ask
Well,
the
my
preacher
two
because
uncles that left there and came to America, they could have passed for Greek. They looked very Greek looking, very dark skin, dark mustache, the ones in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
They
I
looked very
well,
much Greek.
Not like a Sweden guy like me.
No. I must say
Yeah.
you are. She's a beautiful woman. God bless you. Beautiful.
Lucrezia, you what year were you
Great.
there? And
That's amazing.
when you went,
I think
what-
we
what-
went in 16, no, 18 or 16.
2016.
2016.
2016. And
Right.
so what and you had never been there before, so you went when you were
Yes, I had been before. Once before, I went.
1969.
I went.
Wait,
Ah.
hold on. I'm confused. Wait a minute. So, explain to me. So she was born there and had to come back, or she was born in America?
Born in America.
Wow, that was your first time back?
Yes. USA, the good old USA.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. You're amazing. So when you went the first time, it was a revelation, no?
It was wonderful. Yes.
What did you
Yeah.
feel?
Well, how'd you feel?
Uh,
Like you felt, Michael. You feel it coming up from your feet into your blood and your bones.
Like an
because
explosion,
you're so
right? Like an
connected.
explosion.
Calabria is
Yeah.
so wonderful. I tell everybody,
Yeah, I'm
the
getting chills
land.
right now.
you
I'm
can
getting
feel the
chills.
land when you're in Milan.
Don't cry.
when you're in
Michael, don't
Rome.
cry.
I'm gonna cry. Stop! I cry a lot.
Bob,
No,
when
but
you going, Bob?
Bob's
Wow.
got to go.
When you going, Bob?
we hope to go. We hope to go again next year, but I have to take the family to the north. We've never been to the north, so I said
Go to the north, for
they
God's
gotta-
sake. Don't go to the north.
they
Go to the
have to-
south.
they have to
Bob,
see what
Bob,
I have
I will
people
never
up
do
there
another.
too.
I will never host another podcast if you go to the north first. I'm
Go
done.
to
I'm done.
Bob. Go to Lago di Como, Lake Como. We lived there for years. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Ah,
I
Like
bet.
Como.
I I have
Okay.
some
Go to the
family up
south.
there, and I have family going back to the 1500s.
And
but
south.
there's
I mean,
castles
all of
up there
Italy is
that I gotta get
beautiful.
to.
No matter where
All
you
of
go,
Italy
it's
is
beautiful
beautiful.
there.
But the South is the best. I'm sorry to say.
There's no
Europe
question
is
that the south is the
Europe
best.
is another
one.
world.
Yes, it is. You're quite right. Europe is another world. Quite correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
America's
Europe-
America's a little interesting right now. Let's see what happens.
Don't get me started.
Woo!
Hey, so-
You don't live here. Don't worry about it.
So I have to.
I know we
ask-
worry about it because every time that guy farts, we smell it downwind.
Oh, God.
You can imagine how we feel.
So I have to.
Yeah.
I have to ask either Pietro, because I was hoping Gianluca was going to be on, but I guess he couldn't make it. But he told a great story about that his grandmother would tell him about how Calabria was created. Do either one of you guys know that story?
Fantastic, Monica. Congratulations.
There is a myth that is like a folklore about it. Yeah.
Was
You
it
tell
where-
it, Bob. Tell it.
I'll recount it the best I can. I'm not going to do it justice, but apparently, when God created the world, he forgot Calabria.
Oh,
So he had to take a little bit from everywhere. He took the mountains from Switzerland or someplace, and he took the desert from someplace else, and he took the sea from someplace else, and that's how Calabria got created.
that's a
Man.
good story.
When you drive through Calabria, it's true. There's a little
Yeah.
bit of every place in there, right?
That's what makes
Correct.
it beautiful. That's what
Bravo.
makes it special.
Or I've heard it.
It is.
Or I've heard it. I've heard it.
I'm gonna cut it in. I'll cut it into. I'll have Gianluca say it in his words, and I'll cut it into the edit. But go ahead.
I've heard it's been said that Calabria is the forgotten Italy.
So
No, but they
beautiful.
said. I think maybe you're in some ways, Rich. I think also maybe Sicily and Calabria at some points, and Puglia, even Puglia in the last
Puglia too.
25 to 30 years. I think there's been a reawakening in the last,
Yes.
especially now with the social media and internet and all this stuff. All of a sudden,
Right.
it's like it's being discovered and it's being
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
But,
It's a renaissance.
Yeah, but my fear is, you know what? With that happening, it becomes not what it is, what it was, very special. So I'm
Of
hoping
course.
that people don't destroy this
Especially,
beautiful land.
especially as Americans, we see
Yes.
that
Yes.
progress so many times get corrupted. But I was at Lamezia Airport just a few weeks ago, and I was surprised. I mean, they got a facelift. It was
That's
really
what I'm saying.
been
There's an
renovated,
expectation. Yeah, it's an
and
expectation.
it was nice. I mean, there's a nice part to it too. But yeah, there's a big
I
push.
often-
Hey, maybe they'll come and renovate Newark Airport.
I
just like. Sorry, can I just inject something into this, because I think it's very valid to say that it was Italy who brought the world out of the Dark Ages through the Renaissance. It started in Florence and it
Yeah.
spread throughout Italy. And I do believe that Italy, I read something about this, Italy will be the one to bring the world into the future, because they have this thing. They have this
Wow.
thing that they want to go forward. Then they're very good at bringing new life. They make things grow, and I think Italy will be one of the countries to lead.
I think that the only way to go on is going back.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to say, yeah, Pietro, I agree, and I want to say this. I think it's something important.
We have a big hole because we're still living this land. In the last 15 years, 200,000 people left Calabria.
See.
So, and the age is important because we miss the age that is going from 19 years old to 35, 40 years old.
Yeah.
So it's the range of the age where the people are stronger, where the people are interesting to do things where they're living and they move.
Yeah.
So
no money. That's why I say.
I'm like a one of on my age, on my 78. I'm 1978 born. In my town,
You're young.
We are just two.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you.
What are you eating? Olive oil.
There's two things. Pietro,
course.
there's a couple of things I want to say on that.
Bravo, Pietro.
Which I was talking
Olive oil.
what I was saying about the old country and Calabria and the airport, it's fascinating because I often think when I drove up to my grandfather's house in Limina, Sicily, it was about 1,500 meters up. And I drove 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 and I passed up the mountains, around them. And I often wonder when I stand there, how did they get down? How did they go?
The
Donkey. I know, that's what I'm saying. So think about that. If you can actually put that into perspective,
right.
which people don't, that because we're in this day and age right now, we have a car and it's easy. Well, it's not even easy with a car, but it's a lot faster. But so you're up there. You don't go down to the ocean. He never saw the ocean, my grandfather.
That's correct.
Until he went to America.
Imagine.
So he went from that place, this little town, with a donkey, which probably took him 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to the port, and then you have to go. To me, it's what Pietro. It goes back to what he's saying. Is like, unfortunately, when people live in these towns, there's no work.
No.
People leave. The young kids are going. There's nothing to do. And I go back to my town. To Limina. It's a small town. It used to have 5,000 people. Now there's 700-800 people.
Wow.
And it's dying. This is what Pietro's saying. It's dying. And if we don't infuse tourism and culture and passion back, it's over. And I see this everywhere I go. And I've been all over Sicily, to every little town 25 times. I went to town that wasn't even on a map to see these kids, to show a film. It was like going. It wasn't even on the map. And I went, and it was 20 kids in all grades, like a whole school, 20 kids.
Wow.
I said, the whole school. And I said, this is the most beautiful little town, and nobody even knows it exists. And it's going to die, and the next generation will be gone. And there's beautiful homes, and there's homes with shacked up and gone. It's like they're dying. The only reason, like in Enna, Salvino, in Provincia Enna, I go to Piazza Marina. I know a lot of people in those areas because I did my film there.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. But you want to know something? Yeah. The only way they stay alive,
high up.
The only way they're staying alive is because they have something called the Villa Romana Casale, which is something that was an old archaic drawing, like a mosaic. It's the only thing that brings people from Russia, China. So people come one day, they see it, and they go. That's the only reason in that central that people survive. There's
tourism.
But there's only one day. Thing. A lot of towns don't have that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They don't have a way to bring people there. They don't have anything to see. So what are they going to do? They're going to go up to a town and just stand and look and leave.
Right.
The children have nothing to do. What are they going to do?
Yeah. The portion
wants to take a job. Right.
The portion of the people that they are interested to just stay there and drink a glass of wine, it's really 5%. So
exactly.
The tourism needs something more. So
because we're reminiscing about our roots. We love it, but the people that live there, no, they want to go.
Yeah, and you know what? With my Bella Vita and my boss Cherry, we are trying to do something different. So we're working a lot with the people 60 years old and older. But I know that there is a lot of things to do in our region.
Of course,
should bring people here. So when I'm living here in Lamezia, it's one of the best spots for kite surfing in all Europe. Every year we have a world championship here. So I can go ahead and talking about a lot of different sports that you can do. So bringing here younger people. So it's a project that we are. My Bella Vita is a small travel agency. We are not huge. We are small, but we have high quality, and we want to work on these things. And you are, like I said before, you're helping us because this way we can create some little things that bring other people. And when you talk about Calabria or Sicily or Puglia, with the other people that you will meet in your life, it makes the difference for us.
Pietro, mandami I tuoi dettagli. Send me your details. Sorry, I meant to say it in English. Send me your details.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Okay, so
Pietro,
because I tell you why, where
So,
where
Bob-
I live now in South Australia, there are more Calabrese than in Sydney,
Yeah.
and so it
So,
could help you.
Bob, you
Va
should
bene.
share Cherry contact, and she
Yeah.
will do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
best.
And Sal,
Mandami qualcosa, dai.
I interviewed Sherry I don't know, maybe 3 years ago now. So
Okay.
I'll send you the YouTube of
Yeah.
her where she talks about my Bella Vita and
yeah,
all
I
that.
was, Pietro, I was hoping to meet Sherry on this video. I'm glad you're here as well.
Pietro.
I did speak to her a couple times because I do drive some people, and I know she sometimes needs
Company.
drivers.
Yeah.
So I wanted to connect with her. You're in
Yeah.
Lamezia.
Yes, we are in
and
Lamezia. I'm in
is there-
Lamezia. Yes.
Okay. And I do want to connect. Maybe Michael, maybe next time you're in Sicily, it may line up with my time while I'm there. And like I said, I go back and forth. But what you were also talking about is exactly what I was connecting to also is that Sambuca, close to Palermo Shaka.
I've been there.
You know, I mean,
I know Shaka well.
they put a program together to fill these houses, to get these houses repaired. Of course, I understand not a lot of people are they're not gonna live there. They're coming from California, they got money from Chicago, blah, blah, blah. But they're gonna come, some will be there in February, some will be in April, some will be in June, some will be in August. But it's created a buzz, and this was one way to get, like what they call new blood in the town.
So I was in Shaka for a month.
Yeah.
This is what I would suggest, Bob. I don't want to. I don't like to talk. I don't want to be, but I'm going to tell you guys that. I think I could really help everybody here if when this I have something going on very 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 powerful about our roots, Bob, and I haven't said it much because I want to make sure it's finished. But once it's done,
sure.
It's everything that this is why we did this. This is why Bob and I started this program, because this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is once this program is being ready to go, I'm actually going on tour Wednesday to Pennsylvania. I'm going to Miami to the consulate in Miami, presenting my film, which is about finding your roots.
Oh, great!
It's very powerful, and we're going to talk. What I'll do is I'll let Bob know the next steps. But Bob knows that I only want, like, the conversations we're having today is the conversations that I want to have all the time. I don't want to have conversations about other stuff. This is what's powerful. People that love their culture and do it the right way.
And
connection. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the next steps is that, I'm sorry if I didn't stop you.
No.
So
absolutely.
With My Bella Vita, we are three guides that we are going to do this job. We are the connection between who maybe wish to be back and they really don't know how.
Right.
And
Well,
we do the job. So we are the connection. The problem now is that in every town hall that we go, it's always a different problem. So it's not easy. There is a so between the people that they want to be back and find something and the reality, it's one, it's that they have to know about what happened here. And second is those people that working in a town hall, that they really don't help us to reach the information. Just reading the book, we are going there and saying we never want to touch the book. We understand, we respect that there's a law that forbidden who's not the business over there that we don't touch. We can go on and do the research by ourselves. So they have to do for us. And sometimes we are in a town that they are open and they help us, and the people come and the family enjoy everything, like dream. And sometimes we are going like in Catanzaro. I'm sorry to tell this, but in Catanzaro there is a big town, big city. So it's our capital.
Molto difficile, big city.
Yeah, it took 15 days to be able to read one book. 15 days in a little town. Sometimes I'm walking and I ask about, and they say, the room is over there. Do anything you want. and then it's make everything easier, and the connection is,
Well, I think Pietro, the first thing that's really inspiring is to get people there. The first thing is to get people to come.
yes,
That's what you need. You need the PR to get people to come.
of course, yes.
And if they get that experience, if they get the experience and the taste, like we just talked about, and the taste in their mouth, and they get this shiver, they're going to come again and come again and come again, like we all have. So the first thing is how do we get people visibly to know who you are, what you're doing, and how do we bring people there? So,
Good question.
So this is what I do. This is what my film is about. Exactly what you said is what my film is about. It was my experience going back to my town and how it happened for me.
Yeah.
And Bob will tell you. Bob will share with you a little later about the film. I won't talk about it, but it's something that inspires the person. It doesn't matter where you're from. In Calabria, Puglia, Sicily. It inspires that part of you that wants to go back and find out who you are. So this is the job that we need to do. We need to get the inspiration. So we have the inspiration. Now we have to figure out a roadmap. How do we get here? How do we get Puglia, Catanzaro, Lamezia, wherever? How do we get this funneled here? So this is the program that we have. So this is what you have to develop. Not about, we know they're going to find the book. The book is the book. They'll find it. But how do we get people to step on their own land is the other thing. Because a lot of times I want to go back. I don't want. We got to entice them to come home, right? So I think what you're saying, you understand it. It's just getting them to come.
Yeah.
So we need the inspiration, and I think all of us here are doing that. And I think there's a way to collaborate in a very, very beautiful way to figure out a program to do this. So this is what we're working on. I'm talking to the Minister Tajani right now in the Parliament right now. So
great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and the heads of Forza Italia, the couple of
and we haven't even touched on the new directive that just came down that has canceled out thousands of people from getting citizenship.
Right. So these are things that are. That's exactly right. So I think you're close, really close, and I think it's beautiful, and I think your passion is beautiful, and I think that. I'm Bob knows I'm pretty well known around the world with what I'm doing, and I want to help. I want to help you.
Just agree.
Because I think Calabria is very special, and I think that you're somebody who you remind me of me in like that the love and the passion of your roots, and it's very, very, it makes me so happy. And so Bob, you can give him my information. And
sure.
And we're going to try, all of us together, figure out how to put this in a program and try to get it out to the world. But there'll be a bigger way to do it shortly. Just bear with us if you can. Okay. Guys, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I gotta take care of my son. But
no, we're gonna wrap anyway, Michael.
Ciao,
Michael.
Ciao, Michael.
Ciao. Thank you, guys.
Ciao, in bocca al lupo.
Bocca al lupo.
In bocca al lupo.
Bye, Michael.
Bye.
Ciao, Michael.
Bye, guys.
Viva il lupo.
So I just want to say for anybody who's, first of all, thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
And for everybody listening, Michael and I, we're going to do November. We're going to be focusing on returning to Sicily. So, maybe we'll have some of the same people on, but I have some great people lined up from Sicily and Sicilian Americans to be on the call.
Thanks, Bob. Nice talking to you.
Same here. Good to see you again. Happy birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.
You could go back to bed now, Sal.
I'm gonna have another triple espresso.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good seeing you. Bye bye.
Okay, ciao, grazie. Ciao tutti. Ciao.
Ciao.